So we have a mechanical keyboard without hot swappable switches. So it's the older style mechanical keyboard that does not have the hot swappable switches. So we will take a look how to change the switch to this kind of keyboard. So first we need to disassemble the keyboard. Some have screws underneath the rubber paddings, so beware that there may be some screws hiding behind those pads, like they do on this one. Then there's also screws in the front plate, so in the middle of the switches there are screws. There are several screws. Most of the screws I have already removed, but there was still a few left. After removing all the screws, the front plate lifts up without any force. Now I'm gonna mark the buttons that I need. So the E button on this keyboard was not working all the time, so it had intermediate connectivity issues, so it stopped working intermittently. So I don't have any spare parts for this, so I switched the function button F12. I took that switch from that button and switched it to the E button. That way you can still use the F12 button because it's not that heavily used, and then you gain the full usage of the E button after this. So there are 4 pins, but the middle pins actually are for the LED, and you do not need to desolder those, but I didn't know that first, so I desoldered all 4 pins, but the middle button or the middle pins are not needed to desolder. For desoldering we need soldering flux. This helps the solder to liquefy more better, so that you can suck it up better and it flows better when you solder it back on. Okay, now we have desoldered those pins. So the actual switch uses only those 2 on the edge. After desoldering, it just lifts up from the board. This is how the switch looks like. So there's 2 pins there that are connected. Now we're gonna take the F12 button off. Gonna see a little bit better how it is placed there. Again with the soldering flux. For any type of soldering, please use flux always. It makes the job a lot simpler and easier. Okay, now they have been desoldered. Now here's a better angle on how to remove the switch. It just lifts off, nothing else. Now the orientation of these switches were a little bit different on the top row than on the actual letters, so I needed to turn the switch around a few times to get the angle right so that the pins go in the holes. So once the orientation is correct, it will just snap on there without any force. So now I'm gonna first solder the LEDs back. And I'm gonna put a little bit solder on the soldering iron directly so that I can push up on the other hand, push up the switch so it's pushed right against the PCB, so it's not higher than the other keyboard switches. So these joints are ready to be cleaned up, just to clean up the excess flux, makes the board look nicer. For cleaning I use IPA, so isopropyl alcohol. It's a good liquid for any type of cleaning, especially on PCBs. And I use a Q-tip to mop up the excess flux and a toothbrush to clean up. Those look really nice, better than the factory. Then solder back the F12, and after that we are ready. So this is a very simple job to do. It doesn't take too much long, it doesn't take too much equipment, and you get yourself a functioning keyboard again. So after cleaning up, I assemble this again, and then I take off the keycaps, give it a good clean, and then clean all the keycaps, and then put it back, and we are ready to game again. Thank you for watching, and hopefully see you soon.